The enSkate R3 sits up there as one of the best value electric skateboard options there is for beginner e-skaters. enSkate have gone back to basics to develop an easy to ride electric skateboard without all the bells and whistles. For only $449 US, this makes it one of the best electric skateboards under $500. The range and the top speed are both marketed at 35 kilometers, which is 21 miles. But let's not take their word for it. Let me show you what the enSkate R3 is really capable in real life. If you have any questions along the way, drop them down in the comments. I will get back to you with your answer. And while you're there, you may as well hit that like button and subscribe for all the best electric skateboard reviews and news. The range that I hit was 20.3 kilometers, which is 12.6 miles. That's a fair bit below their marketed range, but it's not really the full story. We have to take into account all of the external factors that contribute to a rider's range. enSkate would have tested the range of the R3 with a rider weighing less than 80 kilograms, and I'm just about over 90 kilos. That's the first key factor. enSkate also would have ridden at a constant and conservative pace along a flat, smooth road. I, on the other hand, climbed multiple long and steep hills, which you can see in the chart here, did multiple top speed tests, carved a lot, and my cruising speed was likely higher than their testing speed. I would categorize myself as an intermediate rider who pushes the boundaries of electric skateboards for testing purposes, so I'm always going to get a less range and probably top speed than what is marketed. Beginner riders who are going to be riding a lot more cautiously and probably weigh a little bit less than I do are going to see themselves getting a lot more range than I did. Interestingly, according to my tracking app, the top speed I hit was 38.9 kilometers an hour, which is 24.2 miles per hour. And that's slightly higher than the marketed value for the top speed. It was probably an outlier, which was caused by having a slight tailwind. However, you can see in the graph that I repeatedly hit around 34 kilometers an hour. So that's two big thumbs up for enSkate R3's top speed. There's 3 riding modes for the R3, and the acceleration only increases slightly as you move up each mode. Here are all 3 acceleration modes side by side. Low is so gradual you hardly feel yourself take off. Mid is only a fraction faster, and high, well, it's never going to throw intermediate riders off, but beginner riders should definitely be ready for takeoff. Remember, weight plays a massive part in the acceleration power of a board, so lighter riders are going to feel the acceleration power a lot more than I did. Each riding mode has its own unique braking curve, and again, here is a side-by-side look at each of the modes' braking power. I rode at about 20 kilometers an hour and applied the brakes, except for the low mode, in which was around 15 kilometers an hour, because that's its max speed. All riders, beginners included, are going to feel confident and in control when using these brakes. There's no jolting, but they are hard enough to bring you to a complete stop when you need them to. I tested the enSkate R3's hill climbing ability on a street that had a grade of about 15%. It did make it to the top, but at a crawl. My pace was sitting around 13 kilometers an hour. Again, weight plays a massive part in the performance of hill climbing. Lighter riders, I suspect, will have no issue climbing hills up to about 20%. It is running a Hobbywing ESC, and you can really feel the smoothness of the acceleration and braking. It's one of my favorite parts about this e-board because it provides a very comfortable ride. The remote is bare bones with a thumb wheel for acceleration and braking, LEDs to indicate riding mode and remaining board battery, 2 buttons, one to turn the remote on and off, and the other to cycle through the speed modes. The only other thing on the remote is this switch on the side that changes the direction of the board between forward and reverse. The battery is a Samsung 20S 2P 7 amp hour 252 watt hour pack, which is quite hefty for a budget electric skateboard, although there's no way you're going to be able to take this on a plane. The ESC and the battery are housed in an all plastic enclosure, except for the metal plating on the ESC box, which acts as a heatsink to help keep your components running at the optimal temperature. It has dual hub motors, each with a rated power of 450 watts, which are on the small side. So I'm actually quite impressed that this e-board can reach a decent top speed, but it also explains the hill climbing ability. The 90mm 78A wheels are another of my favorite things on the R3 because they are big and squishy. They absorb a lot of the road vibrations and have insane grip, which makes turning corners at high speeds a lot less sketchy. The trucks, which are just your good old standard eSkate trucks, could probably do with a loosening out of the box to increase the turning circle, and I'm not too concerned with the speed wobbles as I didn't experience any at all during my rides. Lastly, the deck is 38 inches long and 9.4 inches wide, made of 8 layers of maple, which makes it fairly stiff. It does, however, get a little bit of flex at the narrow ends over the trucks, so it doesn't really feel like a maple deck. It has a very slight concave shape to give you the benefit of easier turning without the feet fatigue that generally comes with big wheel flares. In the box, it's just your standard set of accessories. You get the remote control, the board charger, a micro USB cable to charge the remote, a T-tool, user manual, and you also get some neat stickers. Overall, I think the enSkate R3 is a very solid beginner electric skateboard. It's simple enough to learn on while still having some growing room for when you start to get a little bit more confident and want to start riding a little bit harder. The remote isn't overcomplicated and allows you to focus on your riding rather than getting distracted by numbers on a screen. This could easily be your go-to transport to school or work. That's my enSkate R3 electric skateboard review. I hope I've helped your search for the best electric skateboard that's right for you a little bit easier. If I have, please tickle the like button and subscribe if you want more eSkate reviews and news in the future. If you have any questions about anything that I didn't cover in this review, then just drop them down in the comments below. I do get back to every single person with the answer. Thanks for watching, and as always, ride safe out there, eSkaters, and I'll see you soon.